Our fluffy-haired young scientist named Jim was a regular science enthusiast who loved to tinker around in his kitchen.
He had an exciting idea. What if he could turn his kitchen into a self-cooking factory? So the very next day, he set off on his journey of scientific exploration.
Jim was so friendly and jolly that he instantly made friends with everyone on the street. He waved hello to the local greengrocer, the postman and his neighbor alike.
As soon as they heard about Jim's ambitious project, they all promised to help him out in any way they can.
With help from his newfound friends and resources acquired from his own attic, Jim slowly began converting his old kitchen into a self-cooking factory. He built intricate gadgets to automate different processes, like chopping vegetables or mixing pancake batter. Meanwhile, Jim kept increasingly busy experimenting with secret recipes and fresh ingredients to create the perfect meal. After long hours of tinkering and testing, he finally succeeded. The first meal out of his self-cooking factory tasted just like a 5-star dinner. The news spread like wildfire, and people from all over the neighborhood started coming to experience the wonders of Jim's invention. Soon enough, word reached to a few investors who saw immense potential for profit in Jim's self-cooking factory. The investors became business partners with Jim, and together, they worked on making the factory more efficient and cost-effective. By ordering parts from faraway lands, they improved the mechanics of the automated kitchen and recruited professional chefs to refine the recipes. Soon, the once sluggish, lazy scientist's kitchen became a fully functioning, modernized self-cooking factory. Jim, his friends and the investors were elated by the amazing transformation and celebrated its grand opening with an extravagant dinner party. In no time, Jim's factory became the talk of the town. Everyone raved about the delicious meals and speedy services. His business started growing rapidly, and Jim got busier than ever. Before long, Jim took notice of the stress and exhaustion he was experiencing. To find a solution for his problem, Jim started researching ways to make the factory less reliant on human labor.
He came across a laboratory filled with robots, and this gave him an incredible idea.
He decided to build a robotic workforce for his own kitchen. With the help of the investors and engineers from the lab, Jim got to work building a powerful robotic team to run the factory. In just a few weeks, the robots were ready to be tested. They followed every single command, worked with 0 errors, and cooked faster than ever before. Everyone was thrilled with the success of this robotic workforce, and Jim was proud of what he had accomplished. With their help, he was able to streamline most of the processes in the self-cooking factory, and now the profits grew exponentially. Just when things were looking up for Jim, disaster struck. There was a major malfunction in the robotic workforce due to a faulty power connection. The robots shut down completely, and the factory operations stopped abruptly. Jim was determined to fix the situation and get the factory back up and running as soon as possible. With the help of his team, he was able to identify the problem and make the necessary repairs quickly. Now, the robotic workforce was stronger and more efficient than ever before. Once the factory was fully operational again, Jim took some time to reflect on what had happened and tried to come up with ways to prevent similar incidents in the future. His research paid off, and soon he was able to design a foolproof security system to protect the robots. After months of hard work and dedication, Jim's self-cooking factory was finally flourishing.
He was overwhelmed with joy as he watched the robots work tirelessly to prepare scrumptious meals for all the customers.
It was a scene worth a million dreams. But the success didn't end there. Soon, Jim's invention began attracting attention from outside of the neighborhood too. Not only did people from other towns start visiting, but big companies also approached Jim with offers of collaboration. All this progress was totally overwhelming for our fluffy-haired scientist. Jim couldn't believe how far he'd come, so he took a well-deserved break and travelled to a sun-kissed beach paradise to clear his head. As he sat under a shady palm tree, Jim reflected on his wondrous journey and made a resolution to keep innovating and exploring possibilities. The happy scientist returned to his factory with new ideas and energy. He continued working endlessly to perfect his invention and expand the business further. News spread, and soon his factory became famous throughout the country. With Jim's passion and ambition, the self-cooking factory grew bigger and better every day. People from all walks of life visited the factory, which eventually grew far beyond what Jim initially thought was possible. Eventually, Jim's story became a legendary tale in the small town he called home. Even today, children look up to Jim as an inspirational scientist and entrepreneur who believed that even something as simple as cooking can be automated.